Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's Natalie. Not the last video that I uploaded, but the last video that I actually did for myself, we had a couple of surprise guests join in. So I hope you enjoyed that. I think they had a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, when I go away for camp again, I might hit them up for it again. Anywho, let's get back to this one. This video again is scripted in Bloom by Altenew. It was one of their Build a Garden sets. This particular one I've actually stamped 2 times. Not that you're really going to see it, but later on you will see that I actually have another bud, the bud that's in the bottom right hand corner that I'm doing now, that is repeated again, and it's the same colors and everything else. I am doing a blend of coral, berry, ruby red and grapevine for this range of pink. This stencil set, when you do it, it leaves a little bit of the white, which is quite fun. It leaves a little bit of white just at the top of the flowers, so you don't need all 4 colors of your, the ink cubes, and they come with Altenew that has the 4 colors in it, so that's a bit of fun. The centers, I am using the mocha, and the leaves are pretty much the same. They're going to be the olive. Sorry, I digress. I use orange cream. I'm reading my notes because that might be helpful. We'll get back to that. This is Chloe's Creative Pastels Rainbow Delight paper pad. I'm just giving you a quick look through. Some of the heavy duty flowers that are at the back of there, not quite my jam, but the back side is beautiful. You can see here we've got a lot of very subtle, that pink is really pretty. So I picked out a soft pastel dotted background. This is the Altenew halftone circle stamps, and I'm going to stamp that out in just a very light grey, which is evening grey. Now the leaves, I said again, is olive and moss, and I've done the lighter colours and just tried to do the darker colours, which is the moss around just the base of the leaves and upward the stems, and just for a bit of interest. The similar thing with the centers of the flowers, I've used orange cream and then mocha just at the base, just to give it a little bit more depth and a little bit more fun. You can see I've trimmed off some leaves, and I'm going to add them because if you've been with me for a while, you know I do this. I cut my embellishments up, or my images up, my embossed die cuts, I'll cut them up because sometimes they're just way too pretty. The aim of the game here is basically to try and make them look different, a little bit different. And this could be as simple as the little one you can see there, that's the other bud, or he's not quite a bud, but the blossoming flower. I've just sort of rotated them and tried to make them look a little bit different. So if you look above the left hand, right where my hand is, underneath my hand, there's a big one and there's 2 smaller ones. And when I first put them down, they looked very similar. They were going in the same direction, and so I just rotated them around to try and give it a different sort of look. And I think half the time that's the key to it, really. I'm adhering some of these down with liquid glue, which is from Paper Rose, and I just put it into a smaller bottle with a finer nozzle. And you can see here I am cutting that baby up, which then means you have to be a little bit careful on where you position things, because obviously you don't want to see a cut edge, not really. So I'm tucking him down. So my bigger flowers have been raised up with a little bit of a foam mount, And these smaller pieces and the leaves and things like that, they have just been adhered down with the liquid glue, so they're nice and flat. And I'm just trying to get an idea of where I want this, and I've trimmed, as you can see, a little tiny bit more, so there's literally nothing virtually there. It's very hard to see the background that I've used, and I don't like this white, so we're going to use a pink, which is an old, I don't know if they've got it anymore, but it is an old Stampin' Up color called Blushing Bride, and I think that went a lot better and made the flowers stand out a lot better. I'm not a really massive pink person, but I'm embracing my girliness. This sentiment is out of the same stamp set. It's called You Bloom in Your Own Time. It is always worth the wait. And I thought that was just a very sweet. I've just had a little foam dot. Now he's not going to adhere to everything, so I've added a little bit of glue because we've got a lot of leaves that are raised up. So I've still added a foam all the way across, but I've helped that with a little bit of glue, because as you press it down, the glue, if it's at the edge or something, is going to ooze under, and it's just going to secure it a little bit more. Add that to my card base, and then the lucky last thing is the Stardust Stickles, because you know me, I've got to go Stardust Stickles, and I've got a little bit in the center of the flowers and just the odd little dot through my background panel. I will leave a link down below over to my blog where you can see photos that sort of show it a little bit better. Thank you, take care, talk soon, bye.